Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the Unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And we have action-packed energies. Seems like 2024 has been an action-packed, as the Unseen said, action-packed capstone moment. And so we are going to jump right in because there is so much to cover. So let's just take a look. Let's leap. Let's jump in. So main energies. It's a 10-month, all month long. So it's about treading cautious advance. It means we're moving forward, and we do so with awareness, with a sense of open-mindedness, consciousness. We have double 16s. So we're doubling down, the unseen, the energies, we're doubling down on enthusiasm and to excite. And it is about inspiration and enthusiasm and the positivity, and you'll see how that's playing out with all of these energies. It's an 8-year all year long. We're uniting from the inside out, individually and collectively. And then last but not least, it's a 7, army, correct discipline, meaning we have everything we need. And in essence, we have triple 7s. So because the 1 and the 6 become a 7, so we've got 777 energies playing out, and it's number 4 from the divine, from the unseen. And remember, the meaning of the number 7 is about, it's the foundation of God's word. It's divine fulfillment, it's perfection, it's completion. And here's this Aries full moon that we're coming up, it's literally tomorrow. And so bear in mind, triple 7s, because of the 16s, double enthusiasm, excite. The astrological influences. The theme is a mixed bag of greatness. And as you may recall, if you've been following along in the shows and everything, from the beginning of this year, the Unseen said, let me just bring myself back here for a minute. The Unseen said, when we got to August onward, it would, quote, be a mixed bag of nuts and surprises. Nuts, craziness, and surprises. And so here, with this Aries full moon, it's tomorrow, there's a grand, drawing a blank on what I wanted to say. I'll come to it. There's another element. There is, you can see, mixed bag. It's a mixed bag of energies. And so, but in a great way. Welcome, Tegan. So let's just look at this mixed bag of greatness, because we're going to focus heavily on the astrology chart for tomorrow. It's this Aries full moon. It's a cardinal grand cross. Thank you. I had to look at my own notes. So just remember, last week we had Jupiter station retrograde, while 2 days later, Pluto stationed direct. So there was this dance. We also had the comet, the Purple Mountain, CHING Atlas, this 1 in 80,000 year comet, and then Mercury involved and everything. So there's all this activity. Then tomorrow, the full moon is in Aries, but there's also a cardinal grand cross. And there's also then, it's going to trigger, if you will, and we're coming into this Pluto-Mars opposition. Welcome, Alicia. And what's fascinating with these energies, I mean, these are big energies. And our themes and everything, it's all about rising and meeting the moment. It's about wisdom. It's about 777s. It's about doubling down on enthusiasm. It's about challenge versus opportunity. It's about which wolf do you feed. And so there's so many multiple themes in this one episode. And we may arc this out into next week's episode as well, because there's so much here. But let's look at this astrological chart for a moment. This is for the Aries full moon, tomorrow, October 17th, 2024. The energies that are contained in the center of this chart, in this astrological chart, I read the center of the chart intuitively. They're going to ripple out well into April of 2025. And let me just I'm going to share my screen with you for a moment and bring up a larger image of the astrological wheel. And this is from astroseek.com. When you look at the center, you can see the very solid red line almost vertically up and down. The sun is at the top of the chart, and then directly opposite on the bottom in the south, if you will, is the symbol of the moon. It's conjunct Chiron just to the left. And what you don't see is there's a symbol that's literally, ARIES is literally conjunct the moon. And ARIES in Greek mythology is Mars's sister, and she represents the untamed feminine, when the feminine was literally equal, free. And so she represents the liberation of the divine feminine and so forth. What you really want to look at, and when I first saw the center of this chart, it was literally just, I said, it's a mishmash. It's like this mixed bag. Welcome, Colleen. And then it reminded me of what the unseen had said to us at the very beginning of the year, that in essence, from August on, it was going to be, quote, a mixed bag of nuts and surprises. There's a lot here, and the energy. So when you're looking also, if you look left and right, like almost mid-center of the chart, in the center, on the left is Pluto, on the right, just above the Lot of Fortune, is the red symbol for Mars. This opposition of Mars, Pluto and Mars, is going to happen 3 times. Once, the first time is going to be on November 3rd, right before the election in the US. It'll happen again, I believe, in December or January, and then again, I think it's January, and then again the final time in April. So these are a big deal because Pluto is now moving direct, and Pluto is going to challenge, because it's moving forward. It's moving into the next 20 years into Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius, this new. So it's going to challenge the divine masculine, the patriarchy. It's going to shatter illusions. So this mixed bag of nuts and surprises. It's going to, with the goal, it's number 4 from the unseen, 777, 777s, divine fulfillment, the foundation of God's word. It's about moving forward, and how we've talked about, literally shake ourselves loose from the foundations, from the binds that hold us. Welcome, Ava And I'm so glad, because we're going to continue on this theme that Ava introduced in last week's show in one of her comments about the fact that Mars is in Cancer, and how the energies of this moment, this rising to the moment, to the call. And Ava had mentioned Mars in Cancer, and how it really brings about the highest ideal of Mars energy, the divine masculine, chivalry, honor, decency, humanity at its best. And this goes directly to the heart of these energies contained in this Aries full moon that, again, are going to ripple out for the next 6 months. So let's look at the main themes. And there are many. So the impossible dream, ... realized. Wolf medicine. And we're going to be dealing primarily with wolf medicine, but also with owl medicine and deer medicine. So wolf, owl, and deer in concert with the impossible dream realized. Challenge versus opportunity. Which wolf to feed? The Aries full supermoon, it's a supermoon, and it's going to be the closest in its perigee to the Earth tomorrow. And then included in this chart, this Aries full moon, supermoon, is the cardinal grand cross, and then there's the Mars-Pluto opposition. And a cardinal grand cross, as you saw in the chart, when you look inside, you'll see the very strong vertical line, the red line. That's the opposition between the sun and the moon, as we spoke about in Chiron and Eris. Okay, well, when you go and you trace that in the inner circle, you can see that there's a red line, and when you follow the red lines, it makes a square. It's because the sun and the moon are square Pluto and Mars. So it creates what's called a grand cross. And these are tensions, and these are things that need to be released, all with the drive to move forward, to release stagnant energies and so forth. So we're setting the stage here because our main theme is the impossible dream realized. Wolf medicine. And you see this beautiful wolf baying at the full moon. You see the star, because a part of the impossible dream is that you're following your star. And your star is your soul source connection. The star that you're following is what you know to be true and right, honorable, good, decent. It's not shadow. The moon reveals. It reflects the light. It brings out that which is hidden within us. Not the anger, not the shadow. That's easy. We see that, you can see that. To be angry, to be harsh. It's the least, it requires the least of us. But the light, the soul that's been hidden, the nourishment of the divine feminine that's been hidden within us, to bring that to the forefront, to rise to that occasion, to celebrate and shine that light, it's our key word. It takes courage. So let's get into all of this, just setting the stage a little bit there, and bringing this up because we want to be able to look at. So let's jump in with astrology. We're going to stay with the astrology for a minute, and then we're going to jump in and see where the wolf medicine plays, the impossible dream, the 777's wisdom, Solomon, King Solomon, wisdom. So this is from Astrology by Lauren. And this is a quote by Abraham Lincoln, and it embodies everything we're talking about. Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. See, this is what happens. With great power comes great responsibility. So in our individual lives, the relationship with ourself, our individual lives, there is great power. With great power comes great responsibility. We're the custodian of this vessel, of this life experience, of this soul. Now, ripple that out to the relationships, to romantic, platonic, career, leadership roles, entrepreneurial. There's a sense that, like, when you want to see a man's character, a human's character, give them power. Because in essence, which wolf are you feeding? It brings out the challenge or the opportunity. It reveals us. What's at your center? So, Astrology by Lauren. There is almost a sense of desperation when a planet is in the very last degree, the very last breath of a sign. The last anaretic degree distills all the essence out of the sign. And as Pluto pauses for its direct station on Friday, this was last Friday, it is doing so as well. The sum total of our Pluto and Capricorn era stands at a threshold, and we can feel the shift already occurring. And with Pluto stationing while semi-square Saturn, it adds yet another layer of finality. So that 29th degree, Pluto's at 29, it's stationed direct at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And by the 19th of November, it will be at 0 degrees Aquarius. It's moving forward in 20 plus years. Industrial, not since the industrial American revolutions and industrial revolutions has Pluto been in Aquarius. 240 some years, 46 years. So Pluto stationing in the last degree of Capricorn while semi-square Saturn can bring this existential feeling of doom and gloom. Saturn/Pluto weather can indeed wreak devastation, as we have been seeing across the globe, and it can feel disempowering in the face of formidable forces over which we have no control. Saturn-Pluto is also about survival, and as Pluto digs deep in its station, we come face to face with some of our worst fears and dreads. And then we move through them, because Pluto is also about renewal and rebirth. So it's about the collapsing, the ending, the crescendo, how loud it is, how painful it can be to bear witness. And yet, renewal and rebirth, what's on the other side? Rising out of the ashes of what was, stronger and more determined than ever. So it's not about getting stuck. It's not about going backwards. It's not about reliving something. It's about rising to meet the moment. And the unseen is saying, and remember, that applies to each of us. Within our main incarnation, our life, we have multiple incarnations within the incarnation. Your 5 or 6 year old self isn't your 80-year-old self. They are a composite of them. So it's to remember that we're also applying this. Again, we're uniting all of this within us so that as we move forward, we rise to meet our own greatness, the next iteration, the next incarnation of ourself within this incarnation. Pluto compels us to often face forces that feel so much greater than ourselves. And in the last degree of Capricorn, this can be about transforming the very foundation of our lives, the roads, the bridges, and infrastructure, governments, leaders, even the political parties, as well as our laws. So in essence, remember, mixed bag of nuts and surprises. Everything's up for renewal, for review. Everything, Pluto is shaking the roots. It's bringing to the light what's been in the underbelly, in the shadow, so that we will transmute it, transcend it, leave it behind. Can't make that more. As those structures that have become outmoded are no longer supportive and or have become too oppressive, will need to be revised as we approach the Pluto and Aquarius era. See, everything's up for review because it's outmoded, it's outdated, it's weighing us down. And we're moving from an earth sign, Pluto and Capricorn, to Aquarius, air, fluidity, movement, a freer sense of self. One thing that can become apparent as Pluto finally leaves Capricorn is that there is no turning back. We're not going back. We're going forward. And so this wisdom, this wolf medicine, wisdom, the owl medicine is truth versus deception. It's about the truth, anchoring ourselves, trafficking, anchoring in truth. And then tranquility and forgiveness is deer medicine. That we, in essence, peace, tranquility, peace, and forgiveness. To move ourselves forward, to not forget to, we're so hard on ourselves. We can be our own worst enemies, critics. We can block our forward movement. And deer medicine says to find tranquility and peace, to not live in danger or stagnation or the past, to recognize it, to thank it, to forgive it, and move forward with grace. Welcome, Elizabeth. So, Astrology by Lauren, she goes on to say, the issue of power also comes up this week, as the full moon in Aries creates a powerful grand cross in the cardinal signs of Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. These two have to do with the very foundations and structures of our lives. And one thing that could become apparent to all of us is the distinction between those things that we do have control over and those that we simply do not. And with Jupiter's recent station, retrograde, which often reveals issues surrounding ethics and morals, there is something to be said for how power is being used and or abused and manipulated. So again, with great power comes great responsibility. How are you harnessing your individual power? And are you using it, Jupiter, the great benefit, are you using it to its highest and best purity, goodness, so that the reality of our experiences are a higher octave? Because if we're trafficking in the shadow, the dark is what you will receive. It's plain and simple. Traffic in truth, traffic in the light, 777s, divine fulfillment. It's a higher octave. Lauren goes on to say, full moons are times of culmination, endings, and disclosure. And this moon, this Aries full moon, appears to come limping onto the stage while still ready to take on all challengers. Conjunct the wounded healer, Chiron, and exactly conjunct the dwarf planet Eris, the moon is also opposite the sun, square combative Mars, the ruler of Aries, and square Pluto. Squares are frictional points. They're challenges. We're going to feel as if we're being pulled in several different directions at once with this crew engaged, or perhaps feeling more like we're being drawn and quartered. But see, therein lies the opportunity. So these 4 cardinal points, signs, all operating, they're square one another, all operating in a different or pulling in a different direction, so to speak. But that pull is to pull us forward, pull us out of, they're showing me like when a wagon wheel is stuck in mud, so go way back in time, wagon wheel stuck in the mud, and the force required, the energy, the force, the will, the determination to pull that wagon up and out of the muck to move forward. It rises up out of the muck and it goes on to more solid foundation, solid ground, and it moves forward. We arrive at our destination. Lauren goes on to say, but perhaps what this full moon is really capable of displaying in all its glory is the truth. Uncensored, undeniable truth. And it does so without the privilege of us being able to look the other way or ignore it. So head on, high beams, truth. Whatever that truth is, individually, collectively, we will bear witness. It's uncensored, it's undeniable, it's truth, and we're not able to look the other way or ignore it. We must rise to the time, to the occasion. Aries is a sign of action and courage. So is the planet Mars standing in the wings and goading us on. under the aegis of his sister Eris, the goddess of chaos and discord. In some way, we are being asked to take action, to do something, even if it is hard, and even if it almost seems impossible. The impossible dream realized. We're being asked, the illusion is that it's like we're being asked to do the impossible dream, the impossible. But in reality, here's as above, so below. All the celestial bodies, the unseen, the heavens above, are all on our side, advancing us forward. Lauren goes on to say, and even if it does upset the apple cart in the process, just know that once you see the truth, there is no turning back. This full moon is not to be ignored. And let me just bring this up before we finish with the Mars-Pluto opposition. It's our keyword, courage, because this full moon is requiring, it's demanding, these energies, these celestial energies are demanding courage. Courage originally meant, quote, to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. The word courage is from the French coeur, to mean heart. And think about that, heart, age, wisdom, to lead with your heart. It meant to tell one or tell all what's in one's heart, courage. It has evolved to mean mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. The strength, choice, and willingness to confront agony, pain, danger, uncertainty, or intimidation. One could say the courage to face truth. The truth of what's going on. The truth of this moment in our individual lives and our collective lives. Because again, the shadow aspect of Mars, this, it's been referred to as toxic masculinity. It's been, the oppressiveness, the shadow aspect of Mars energy and the divine patriarch, the divine masculine. But again, to Ava's point, Mars is in Cancer. Cancer, the crab, the heart, like the mushy, gushy, wonderful stuff in the center. It's a water sign. Heart. Courage. Coeur in French. So it's a heart age, or the age of the heart. The age of wisdom that is before us. That is the opportunity before us. Again, challenge versus opportunity. Which wolf to feed? And let me just bring this image up because it's so beautiful. Challenge versus opportunity. Which wolf to feed? Because within us is both challenge and opportunity, shadow and light. Which wolf do we choose to feed? Last but not least, with Lauren, Astrology by Lauren, Mars-Pluto opposition. Mars is approaching the first of 3 oppositions to Pluto this week, and as such can bring a lot of anger, frustration, and divisiveness to the foreground. Things are getting tense as a seething volcanic force is churning from within. The first of these oppositions will perfect November 3rd, the second while Mars is retrograde on January 3rd, 2025, and the last at the end of April. This, along with a square from Mars, so friction, and the Sun to Chiron this week are exposing all our wounds and laying them out on display on the altar of our lives. Why? Because it's for us. It's happening for us so that we will release them. It is about releasing them. It is not about getting bound up in them. It is not about defending them. It's about laying these wounds out on the altar of our lives in the full day of light, truth coming at us. We will not be able to turn away, nor should we. Because when we face the truth, we move forward. It's released. The truth speaks for itself. It's that old saying, the truth becomes a part of your past, a lie, your future. because you're perpetuating the lie. You're carrying it into the future with you. Well, think of the fool in the tarot. This bucolic scene, and he has all that enthusiasm. She has all that enthusiasm and awe and wonder. Can you imagine that what's in the little knapsack is just a bag of lies? A bag of shadow? No, of course not. What's in the nappy is what the magician has, which is all of these, everything you need, all of the greatness of source, of the unseen. That's what's in the knapsack in the back on the fool's shoulder. So any meanness, any state of oppression, any abuse of power or impossible situation will feel untenable under the rays of this feisty Aries full moon. Because in the new, this shadow energy stuff, this old way of thinking and being and doing, that dog don't hunt, as they say. It will not work in the new. The energies of the new are a higher octave. They're more pure. They are truth. They're wisdom-based. And so anything less than that is going to be untenable, as Lauren says. Chiron, wounded healer Chiron, exposes our woundedness in the light of the full moon, but it also has the capacity to bring us the remedies that are needed to effect a healing. See, we have everything we need. Chiron is conjunct this full moon along with Eris. So it's about healing us, rising us up out of the guck. As Jupiter stationed this past week, it made a close sextile, so that sextiles are harmonic, to Chiron. And so Jupiter is also sextile the full moon. Even as this Pandora's box of a moon is unleashing all of these wraths and demons upon the world, there is still one thing left that we can hold on to, and that is hope. The one thing that remained in Pandora's box or jar was hope. Hope and our extraordinary capacity for healing and renewal. Hope, even in the face of extraordinary challenges. And she finishes with this quote by Yoda: "Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering." We are not meant to suffer. And we have a choice. Because number 3 from the unseen is there is much to come, much to be. Be ready. 3 exclamation points. And so again, there's a higher octave, there's a higher calling, that following the impossible dream. However, the impossible dream is realized. And so it comes, so let's just go, I'm going to go very quickly to, it's the lyrics. So The Impossible Dream is a song that comes from the musical The Man of La Mancha. And so the lyrics: to dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, and to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, and to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. Remember, that unreachable star is your soul source connection. It's your true north. It's your guiding light. It's what's within you. It is your soul. And so this is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far. To fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for that heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. It's deer medicine. It's wolf medicine. It's owl medicine. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable, the unreachable, the unreachable star. And I always dream the impossible dream, yes, when I'll reach the unreachable star. But see, what's so funny about it is The unreachable star isn't unreachable. We make it. It's an illusion that it's unreachable. Because that unreachable star, this beautiful main theme image, the impossible dream, ... realized, wolf medicine, that star, it's within us. The full moon reveals it. It's wolf medicine. As we come into this, we're going to come into the wolf medicine. It's within us. It has always been within us. It is never outside of us. It is our greatest, quote unquote, self, because it's our soul self. And really a double entendre there. It's an S-O-U-L self and an S-O-L-E self, because it really truly is the soul, S-O-L-E self. The ego mind personality is an illusion. It's set dressing. And when we align the ego mind personality in service to and with the soul, it's a whole new world. It's a game changer. And so it's about, and this Aries full moon and the cardinal grand cross, this challenge versus opportunity, which wolf to feed. It is about breakthroughs or breakdowns, truth or deception, wisdom. It's about wisdom. And let me just go to that, because the second thing from the unseen said wisdom, the importance of making decisions based on values. And I came across this. It was an email that came to me. It was, everything happened so aligned and perfectly from the unseen. And so this is about 1 Kings 3:6-14. You have shown great kindness to your servant, my father David, because he was faithful to you and righteous and upright in heart. You have continued this great kindness to him and have given him a son to sit on his throne this very day. Now, Lord my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David. But I am only a little child, and do not know how to carry out my duties. Your servant is here among the people you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to count or number. So give your servant a discerning heart, courage, heart, a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. For who is able to govern this great people of yours? And see, and before I continue on, see, it doesn't, when you're in a position of leadership, you're in a position of leadership with your individual soul, with your life, then to your relationships. Then it goes out in terms of service to businesses and institutions and governments. And it's about this discerning heart, because we're all servants. So gives your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. For who is able to govern this great people of yours? The Lord was pleased that Solomon had asked for this. So God said to him, since you have asked for this, and not for long life or wealth for yourself, nor have asked for the death of your enemies, but for discernment in administering justice, I will do what you have asked. I will give you a wise and discerning heart, so that there will never have been anyone like you, nor will there ever be. Moreover, I will give you what you have not asked for, both wealth and honor, so that in your lifetime you will have no equal among kings. And if you walk in obedience to me and keep my decrees and commands as David your father did, I will give you a long life. Solomon's humility has always hit deeply. As king, he could literally make the laws and people had to follow them. Instead, he sought wisdom from the God he loved. See, it's not about force and oppression and decree. It's about each of us. Master Jesus, outside the temple when he was tossing the tables at the temple, and he said to the Pharisees, you block from the people what is rightfully theirs. And his message was, go direct to the Father. meaning connect to your soul source connection. Seek its wisdom. Seek God's wisdom, the unseen, however you relate to higher power. But it's within us. It's not our ego, mind, personalities. It's our soul. It's our heart. It's our center. Seek that with humility so that you know, with discernment, so that you know how to, quote unquote, to be in the world. And to be with self. This is an 8-year unity, uniting. We're in there, Chiron and the moon and Eris and everything. We're in there healing. We're getting up the muck and the guck out because we each individually need to heal it so that we can venture forward. And we can venture forward with clarity, with purity, with goodness at heart. There is much to come to be. Be ready. And this importance of wisdom, because it is our moral compass, our true north. It is our soul source connection. So, and let me just go to our 2 quotes. The first one, beautiful image, Al Medicine. What is well connected, what is well conceived can easily be formulated. It's a French proverb. So what is well conceived? Well conceived means there's thought, there's, again, humility and thought. There's, am I doing harm? When it's well conceived, it means it's thorough. It's been thought through thoroughly. It's been conceived in a way that helps. It doesn't harm. And that can be easily formulated. Why? Because you're checking in with your soul. It's not your ego, mind, personality. Elizabeth says, it seems like we are standing directly in a crossroads with many different directions to choose from. I know for myself that these roads all lead to the same destination. Others more direct than some that might be amazing adventures as well. Knowing that they all are heading towards the same dream is exciting. Yes, and the thing would be, this is where discernment, wisdom, soul source connection, because as Elizabeth articulated quite eloquently, there may be many paths, but what is the path? What is the path your soul is guiding you to take, even when we can't see down and around the corner? That is the highest octave of listening, of receiving this wisdom, like in the example with Solomon, a discerning heart, because then we don't get distracted. We don't go off course. And even while those might be exciting, and they may, and all roads lead to Rome, but the point is, yes, but the experiences aren't all the same. And the rapidness by which we are able to evolve, transcend, experience in one incarnation, in one lifetime, is affected by to what degree are we in opportunity versus challenge. Bringing up the image again. To what degree, which wolf are we feeding? Because the point is the impossible dream realized, wolf medicine, it is about that unreachable star. It's about staying on track with it. So am I in challenge with that truth, with my soul source connection? Or am I in opportunity with it? Which wolf am I feeding? So let's go to wolf medicine. Well, quickly, I'm going to go to hexagram 7. Hexagram 7, it says she, S-H-I-H, she, which is army, can also symbolize conformity. Beyond the flowery show that bears no fruit, it is the fruit and not the flower that sustains life. The flower is attractive, but if you cut it for display, you will find no nourishment or fruit to sustain you later. This is the image of trading your real nature for acceptance. So in this example, which wolf are we feeding and which path are we taking and which Who are we listening to? Ego, mind, personality? Fear, shadow, challenge? Or true north, impossible dream, the unreachable star? And this is from Carrie Hone at cafeosoul.com, hexagram 7. This is the image of trading your real nature for acceptance. The master said, nourish what is for the belly and not the eye. See, the belly is nourishment, so it's about what's in your, nourish your soul, your heart, your soul, your belly, not your eye, not your ego, mind, personality. You are reminded to do what nourishes and does not deplete you. Whatever has left you feeling empty will lead you in the pursuit of instant gratification as an endless cycle of fulfilling what is missing. When you find yourself drawn to this gratification process, you can be certain that something more fundamental remains unfulfilled within. Well, this Aries moon is all about addressing the truth, coming face to face with it, not being able to ignore it or turn away. So whatever's missing within is simply a realization of something that we're avoiding, some truth that we're avoiding. Well, it's like, I'm hearing in my head from the unseen, just get on with it. Just get past the fear, get past the illusion, get past the worry. Because what's on the other side, walk through the fire, because what's on the other side is greatness. It will always be greatness. It will expand you. It will uplift you, but we have to get through the shadow side of it first. Lastly, the nuclear hexagram of return can bring you back to your center to ask, which is worth more, the person or the title? See, this is the ego, mind, personality. It's all about masks, identities, labels, belongings, all this thing. But which is worth more, the person or the title? The soul or the ego, mind, personality? You can find pleasure in what you do only when it taps and authenticates your full capabilities. In the great field of action, you can become an instrumental part of the collective force only when you are fulfilled and true to your own nature. See, we've got to be true to ourselves at our center, not true to ourselves based on our ego, mind, personality, fears, challenges, lack, shadow. No, to our soul center, to our soul source connection. That is what is paramount. Our second beautiful quote is a Chinese proverb. If you do not stand for something, you will fall for anything. And so this is where so much of what the unseen is presenting to us is about standing for something, and that something is, it's a choice. Choose your soul source connection. So let's finish up on our mantra. Let me go to our mantra. Love conquers all. It is a heart age, courage, heart age. Love conquers all. It overcomes all. So this is our mantra. Love conquers all. And there are beautiful Sabian symbols for this Aries full moon and the Cardinal Grand Cross, which we will incorporate in next week's show. But what we're going to move to is wolf medicine. And this is by Jess Hagen at urbanhealersofla.com, her spirit animal blog. Wolf medicine. The wolf animal spirit totem teaches how to find your own way. Learn for yourself what is best for you and how to teach others what you have learned without controlling them. No attachment to an outcome. It is simply an expression of sharing. It is not do my way or the highway. It's not you're doing it wrong. It's simply sharing, teaching others what you have learned without controlling them. Wolf is the oldest ancestor of all dogs, and she once ruled the forest in harmony with the tribes of man. The wolf animal spirit totem honors each person's need to experience lessons for oneself and never attempts to force a lifestyle onto another person. Obedience to rules is best achieved through a willingness to cooperate rather than a fear of punishment. See, it's about cooperation and collaboration. It is not about controlling others or saying you must be like us, because each soul, each individual is unique. It is an expression of the divine. And so where we come into collaboration, cooperation, we rise, we shine, we magnify and amplify, rather than a fear of punishment. Wolf Animal Spirit Totem teaches us how to become teachers so that our experiences of learning can help others as they seek their own answers. We're all mirrors or reflections. We're characters in each other's plays. Simply to mirror something to another, soul to soul, so that each person will come to their own answers. The way of the wolf is the way of listening to the silent self, soul source connection, and following the scent within to find one's unique way through life. There isn't, and on this point, there isn't a one size fits all. The one thing that is common in unity to the whole is each individual's soul source connection, that higher GPS guidance system, and following that, tuning into that channel, listening to it. The wolf advises us when to strike out on our own and when to stay safe in the protection of a pack. Unlike herd animals, this complex social animal does not follow a pre-established trail. She makes her own path through the maze of trees, zigzagging as she pleases across all landscapes and defying patterns of habit. She may step onto a well-beaten path to track the scent of an object she desires, but she equally steps off that path just as easily as she stepped on, forging out into the unknown with fearless confidence. Wolf medicine teaches us how to live by our own inner guidance and not get stuck in the safety of a well-worn trail. See, there's the ego, mind, personality wants to feel safe. So all of a sudden, it's all of these communities. Oh, I'm part of this team, or I'm part of that group, or it's the safety in a well-worn trail, as opposed to the wolf medicine, which says, what is my soul guiding me to do? And that takes courage. It takes, gravitas, as they say. It takes this willingness to walk off the beaten path, to forge your own true path. Wolf asks us to remember how we once communicated with our animal relatives and how we once made room for all forms of life, regardless of differences. In this moment, there is such a division of us versus them, as opposed to hexagram 8, unity, uniting. It is about our commonalities, what we have in common, what we share, and that is Source, the unseen, God, Allah, Buddha, the all that is. That is our greatest center. That is the heart of who we are. Jess goes on to say, Wolf Animal Spirit Totem reminds us that it is possible to communicate with all the animals of this planet. It is possible to have deeply satisfying, though subtle, relationships with life forms other than humans. The animals are talking. Can you hear them? We need only listen and respond with acceptance for the vast array of differences between all of us. Wolf's body language, facial language, and vocal communication are as expressive as our own, and the social order found in her family systems is often more advanced in cooperation than ours. Her tail indicates her mood and level of contentment. Unlike coyotes who howl in a chorus of individual voices, wolves howl in harmony with each other, creating a melodic song to the moon. Her voice uses whines, barks, growls, and howling with cosmic tones that can, in fact, be comprehended. We talk about the music of the spheres. We talk about singing one's name back into harmony. The wolves are epitomizing this in the sense that they act in unity, in harmony with one another. And then when it's time to go out on their own, they do so. But they take those traits with them. They take that sense of harmony and that speaking with the moon, her light, the feminine. She's being referred to, the wolf is being referred to in the feminine. Where her language may not translate into verbal expressions of logic, when we quiet the mind and listen with the other 90% of our being, we can grasp the deeper logic of her calls, and we can even answer back. Speaking about the intuition, the knowing, the connection to the unseen. To learn how to do this, we must be willing to learn. We must be willing to move through the humility of not knowing, to step into the knowledge we seek. When we turn it over and we ask for the guidance and we receive it. When we maintain a lifelong willingness to learn, we invariably become teachers. And see, it's about, we know little. God, the unseen, the all that is, knows all. So it is through our humility that we empower ourselves in the most great ways. It's through listening, receiving, and then going as guided. Ego, mind, personality, in alignment to, and service to the soul. Wolf medicine is the medicine of the teacher. A teacher is not a person with lots of information, though they may have that. A teacher is someone who has developed the ability to hold a healthy space around them, regardless of outside influences. Space is the key to learning. Wolf holds the space for others to find their own. A teacher has no need to collect followers. A teacher simply proceeds on a personal path of exploration, creating space in their wake that allows others to find their own clarity, as well as our paths weave and cross. So this is about holding space. It's again, allowing others to walk their journey. Every being born to earth is a teacher of some topic, for every being understands a unique perspective of life. We're each like a snowflake, an individual. There isn't another one like us. Even with twins or triplets and so forth, they're not, they can be identical, quote unquote, and yet they're not identical because one soul is not the other. When wolf medicine is afoot, it may be time to share your knowledge in a more structured and formal way. Or it may be time to find an expert instructor to help you learn about your current situation. Ultimately, all learning comes from the self, so a teacher can never show you how to do something. That comes from the soul self. It can also come from the ego, mind, personality self because we recognize, we didn't listen. We did or didn't do something that we knew to do or not do. They can only show, so a teacher can only show you how they've figured out how to do something. And with their example as a guide, you are then able to create your own way. The heart of wolf medicine is independence, and she cautions young students from following people who seek to control others, to seek to control their behavior or obtain excessive loyalty. That literally, that statement. And she cautions young students from following people who seek to control others' behavior or obtain excessive loyalty. That is literally playing out in this moment in the United States with an upcoming election. There is a candidate seeking to control others' behavior and obtain excessive loyalty. And wolf medicine cautions against it. A true teacher will not punish or respond to a student with angry aggression. Anger and pain are not compatible with learning. When seeking a teacher, wolf medicine advises that the relationship feel safe and peaceful underneath the turbulence of the learning process. It's about lifting each other up. It is about allowing each other their journey, and it is doing so in a safe way. Do unto others as you would have done to you. And to guard against oppression, this, controlling others' behaviors and excessive loyalty and angry aggression. When seeking to become a teacher, the most important topic to address is dissolving personal anger and opening to accepting people at whatever level of emotional, intellectual comprehension they may be at. It means meeting people where they are. Accepting a student at the level they are at will prevent conflict and deepen their ability to learn. Believing in people's ability to learn is the primary role of a teacher. Before the invasion, indigenous tribes of Turtle Island lived in harmony with their wolf relatives and considered them expressions of great spirit. Even though the wolf was a terribly frightening creature to encounter, Native people understood that it is not possible to obliterate all threats from life. Using an excess of aggression to secure safety will paradoxically obliterate the balance of the very life we are trying to protect. See, it's not about eradicating the shadow, eradicating darkness. It is about purifying them, harmonizing them, bringing them into unity. It is not possible to obtain safety once and for all. When we spend time dwelling on the fear of a possible threat, we place ourselves at a disadvantage for perceiving our present situation accurately. This hunter totem reminds us to simply look at the terrain under our feet as we move and always move from there rather than from an anticipated illusion. Truth, seeing things exactly as they are. Knowing, it's a beautiful quote, you're never lost, you're always somewhere. It's taking a moment, taking that beat to recognize and asking yourself, where am I? And truly listen, where am I? And then you'll hear the answer. The unpredictable spirit of the wolf has led to countless myths and tales which have created the iconic archetype we know of as the wolf. He is the heart of danger and unpredictability. His nature is both friendly and vicious, and his unwieldy spirit is a mirror to our own nature. An old Indian tale describes the teachings of wolf best. An old Navajo and his grandson went walking in the woods. The Navajo spoke to his grandson, teaching him of the plants to eat and the plants to avoid, teaching him how to read the story written in the dusty earth by the paw tracks of animals. It's about wisdom. It is about knowledge, but it's about wisdom. And the teaching is the openness of that, the sharing of that. When the old man saw that two wolves had traveled across their path, he knelt at the tracks and turned to his grandson to teach him of his spirit, the wolf's spirit. Grandson, there are two wolves in your heart fighting for your attention. One wolf is snarling with rage. The other is howling in harmony with the moon and all living things. As you grow up, the fight will grow stronger between these two wolves. Which wolf will win? The boy asked his grandfather. He replied, the one you feed. So we are in this moment where the impossible dream realized. Wolf medicine, wisdom, courage, the heart, and challenge versus opportunity, which wolf to feed. And it is all up to us, because at the end of the day, this is 777 energy. It's about the foundation of God's word, the fulfillment, the promise, the opportunity, and where love conquers all. And the last thing, number 5 from the unseen, was they said, hidden no longer, revealed. So what has been hidden, welcome Kiki, thank you. So what has been hidden? If it has been underbelly things that have been hidden no longer, revealed. Where you may have been hiding your light or holding back. Hidden no longer, revealed. You'll be brought forward. You'll be brought up and out for a greater audience, a greater experience. Because again, challenge versus opportunity, breakthroughs, breakdowns, truth versus deception. All of this, it's all about wisdom. It's all about courage. It's all about heart, the heart age. And these energies from this Aries full moon and the cardinal grand cross and the Pluto-Mars opposition, it's going to be arcing out, like I said, through into April of 2025. So 6 months where this hidden no longer, revealed, this advance, this rising up and out of the muck. And it just, which wolf are you feeding is the experience you're going to have. Far better to be hidden no longer, revealed, meaning your greatness comes up and out in the most positive, beautiful way and you advance, than your deceptiveness, your illicit behaviors, your lies and treachery, your shadow is revealed. Because again, wolf medicine, that dog don't hunt in the future energies, in the Aquarian age. They do not hunt, they do not work. So get on board the happy train, get moving, pick the right wolf, feed the right wolf, nourish it. And we will, in next week's show, come back to the SABIAN symbols along with other energies, but the SABIAN symbols for this Aries full moon and the cardinal grand cross, because again, it's just there's so much to cover to do it all justice. So until then, be well, be kind. The full moon is and the cardinal grand cross, all of that is tomorrow on the 17th of October. It will be arcing out for 6 months. Be gentle and kind with yourself and with others, and rise to the occasion, rise to the moment. Until then, be well, love you all, and we will see you next week.